Bienvenidos a todos los que están conectados. Hoy empezamos con la tercera clase de la especialización en aceites esenciales. ¡Qué felicidad! Bueno, vamos a continuar donde nos quedamos, ¿no? Nos toca el video 3.6, estamos en la unidad 3 y vamos a continuar con lo que es aprender o sea, cómo detecta Doterra cuando los aceites son puros o tienen diferentes tipos de contaminaciones o impurezas. Entonces, ahora ya vamos a empezar. Que disfruten la clase, aprendan mucho y tomen todas sus anotaciones. Igual vamos a compartir la clase grabada al final, ¿no? Entonces, empezamos.
Once the GCMS test has verified that the sample of essential oil is what we thought it was, there are more tests that can detect adulterations and synthetic chemicals. One of these tests is called chiral GC analysis. Chiral is a word used in chemistry to describe the pattern in which some molecules are put together. Essential oils contain constituents with expectable distribution ratios of enantiomers, or a pair of molecules that are mirror images of each other. A chiral GC analysis can identify the distribution ratios of these different enantiomers. These ratios are important when testing essential oils because they can help us detect adulteration that has happened through the addition of synthetic chemicals. For instance, true pure Melissa essential oil should have an enantiomeric ratio of 99% of one kind of methylcitronellate and 1% of another type of methylcitronellate. Analyzing these ratios can help the chemist determine if synthetics have been added to a sample. An additional test that is used to detect the presence of synthetic chemicals, like heavy metals, is the inductively coupled plasma mass spectrometry, which is abbreviated as ICP-MS. This highly sensitive and versatile test is used to detect trace elements such as potentially dangerous heavy metals like lead, mercury, cadmium, and arsenic. It atomizes the essential oil sample to create atomic containing only one atom and small polyatomic containing more than one atom ions. The ions are the elemental form of the essential oil, and through this test can be detected with great speed, precision, and sensitivity. An essential oil sample is introduced into the instrument via a pump. The sample is nebulized into an aerosol that is transported by a plasma torch. Metal ions in the sample are subjected to intense heat and are transported from plasma through a vacuum interface into a mass separation device called a quadrupole, where they are separated based on mass to charge ratio. This test quantifies the elements in the essential oil. Any sample that fails to meet specifications is rejected rather than sent out for secondary processing to remove the heavy metals. Once a batch is determined to meet chemical profile guidelines, it can move on to the next stage of testing. Remember when we talked about GCMS? While GCMS searches for adulteration, LCMS, liquid chromatography mass spectrometry, looks for contaminants such as pesticides or carrier oils. Contaminants in essential oils are heavier, larger compounds, and LCMS helps us detect them. This test is performed in a similar way to GCMS. However, instead of testing the essential oil in its gas form, LCMS tests the essential oil in its liquid form. The essential oil is pumped into a machine that separates and identifies each of the individual components in the oil. The liquid chromatography part of this test separates the components, and the mass spectrometry part identifies the components and tells us how much of each one there is. Think of the chocolate cake analogy we talked about earlier. With this testing, we can identify if there are contaminants in the essential oil. It's tests like this one that help make sure you consistently receive pure and potent essential oils. Beyond looking at the chemistry of each essential oil, it is also important to test their physical characteristics. These tests include Fourier Transform Infrared Spectroscopy, FTIR for short, optical rotation, specific gravity, and refractive index. Organoleptic assessments make sure each essential oil has the right appearance, aroma, feel, color, and sometimes taste. When it comes to appearance tests, for example, a special instrument called a colorimeter can be used to test the amount of light that can pass through an essential oil. Colorimeters can compare the amount of light coming through an essential oil with the amount of light that can come through a sample of pure solvent, which can be used to make sure that each essential oil is consistent in its appearance. FTIR is an additional method of analyzing the composition of essential oils. Different frequencies of infrared light are shined through an essential oil sample, with the amount of light absorbed by the sample being measured. These results are compared to a database of typical FTIR readings for approved samples. The infrared spectrum is unique for each essential oil to determine quality, potency, and the presence of therapeutic compounds. Again, this is to test the physical properties of the essential oil. If the way the light is absorbed by the essential oil is inconsistent with the approved database sample, the chemist will know that more tests need to be performed. Using special equipment called a polarimeter, optical rotation measures the direction and degree that light bends as it passes through a polarizer, a filter, and then through the essential oil. We know before we start exactly how the light will bend in a pure oil. So if the light behaves differently, we know immediately that something's wrong with the sample. The orientation of the essential oil molecules will predictably bend light in a specific and consistent direction. This change in light direction is called optical rotation. This test establishes whether the molecular structure of a given essential oil complies with a determined standard for purity. Optical rotation can identify synthetic additives that GCMS testing wouldn't detect. If the light isn't bent according to the determined standard, that indicates adulteration or inauthenticity. Another way to test an oil's purity is to determine how dense it is. To do this, we use an instrument called a densitometer to measure the specific gravity of an essential oil in comparison to water. Specific gravity readings are measured at precise temperatures and pressures, as these two factors can impact measurements. We know what the density of each oil should be from years of collected data, so if the sample differs, we can tell that it isn't pure. Lastly, regarding physical testing, a refractometer is used to determine the essential oil's refractive index. The refractive index of an oil measures how the speed of light is altered when passing through an oil sample in comparison to its speed in a vacuum. For instance, water has a refractive index of 1.3330, which means light travels 1.33 times slower in water than it does in a vacuum. An oil's refractive index can be compared to that of a known pure sample to identify any adulteration. Oil batches that make it through the chemical and physical testing are then run through a series of tests to confirm that there are no harmful contaminants. This stage includes testing for microorganisms and pesticides to ensure every essential oil is safe for use. How it works is a microbiologist swabs a sample of oil across a plate and carefully monitors it for any growth of microorganisms. This testing process allows experts to detect any possible kinds of contamination that may have occurred throughout the process, as far back as distillation. A sample of essential oil is sent to a specialized lab to ensure that it's free of harmful pesticides. Following United States Pharmacopoeia (USP) methodology, scientists test for more than 70 pesticides, comparing the oil to stringent governmental standards. Based on this testing, the oil sample is either accepted or rejected. The final step in all this is stability testing, which ensures that an essential oil will maintain its purity and efficacy for the entire shelf life of the product. Stability testing is ongoing, examining not only the integrity of an essential oil, but also its packaging. In stability testing, a bottle of essential oil is exposed to different kinds of temperature and humidity using chambers that can alter atmospheric conditions. The essential oil is analyzed to determine what happens to it when exposed to different climates and conditions, in both short-term and long-term studies. This testing protocol ensures essential oils will continue to provide safe and effective health benefits for years after they've been manufactured. Each of the tests we've talked about has limitations, which is why it's so important to perform multiple tests, layering them on top of one another for a more complete picture. The end result of this is pure, unadulterated, uncontaminated essential oil you can trust. Because so many companies cut corners to reduce costs, expand inventory, and speed up production times, not all essential oils are created equal. Now that we've learned a little more about the process of producing essential oils and all the ways it can potentially go wrong, it's easy to see the high standards must be enforced every step of the way, from planting to distilling all the way to testing and bottling. So, how do you protect yourself as a consumer to avoid buying contaminated or adulterated essential oils? After all, we know that it isn't too difficult to create synthetic oils and pass them off as pure. You'll need to do a little research before buying. But now that you know what it takes to produce a truly pure essential oil, you won't be easily duped by companies that are offering low-quality oils. As you start your research, there are a few questions you can ask to determine if a company is offering truly pure essential oils. First, does the company you plan to buy from use sustainable and responsible sourcing practices? In other words, do you know where the oils come from? If a company is committed to essential oil purity, they should be able to answer where they source oils from. For example, doTERRA created the Co-Impact Sourcing Initiative to help promote transparency from the beginning of the production process to the end. This initiative ensures doTERRA knows where their oils come from, down to every last detail. doTERRA knows where the plants are being grown, when they're being harvested, where they'll be distilled, and by who, and so on. With involvement at every step, doTERRA knows their oils are being responsibly and sustainably sourced. The second thing to ask during your research is whether the company uses proper testing methods to ensure oil purity. Does the company test their oils for adulteration and contamination? Do they employ the help of experienced chemists to ensure that testing is done properly? Remember, some forms of adulteration are difficult to detect. It takes a trained eye and more than just run-of-the-mill testing equipment to spot adulteration. When rigorous testing methods aren't observed, it could result in a lower quality oil or, even worse, an oil that could harm the consumer. As we discussed, some essential oil companies are unaware that they're selling adulterated or contaminated oils because they have third-party partners who simply pass the oil along for final sale. When investigating essential oil companies, it's best to find one that's transparent about their testing processes, so you can feel confident that you're using safe, effective oils. For instance, does the company use reliable testing methods? Do they make these test results public? For example, you can easily look up the GCMS test results of any batch of doTERRA oil on the Source to You website using the batch number on the bottom of your oil bottle. If you can't find any information about how a company tests their oils, it could mean that the oils haven't been thoroughly tested, or even that the company doesn't know if they've been tested. Yikes. One way that doTERRA guarantees essential oils free from adulteration and contamination is through the CPTG testing process. Without a universally accepted standard for essential oil quality, doTERRA created this testing process to ensure the purity of their oils. It involves a series of tests and meticulous protocols to maintain purity, potency, and consistency batch to batch. When combined with responsible sourcing practices, the CPTG process guarantees that no added fillers, synthetic ingredients, or harmful contaminants enter the essential oils at any point during the production process. Plus, this guarantees that the ideal ratio of volatile compounds is present for maximum efficacy and reliability. The key to ensuring that your essential oils are safe and pure is transparency. If you can answer questions like, where do my oils come from? And have my oils been properly tested? Then you can enjoy peace of mind about the quality and purity of your essential oils. Now that we're finished with the lab, let's learn how to actually use the oils in your home. Now that you've learned more about the chemistry and testing of essential oils, I think we can move on to how to use them. There are 3 main ways to use essential oils. You can inhale them aromatically, apply them topically, or take them internally. Using an essential oil in different ways can give you different results. Take lavender, for example. If you're looking to create a more relaxing environment, you can diffuse lavender. If you want to soothe occasional skin irritations, apply lavender topically. And if you'd like to reduce anxious feelings, you can take lavender in a veggie capsule. With all of the essential oils and the different ways to use them, the possibilities are endless. You can even accelerate and increase the benefits of an essential oil by using it in multiple ways at the same time. Say you just finished an intense workout. To complement rubbing Deep Blue on topically, you could also take 2 capsules of the Deep Blue polyphenol complex. With the essential oil supporting your body in multiple ways, you may experience quicker and improved results. The sense of smell, also known as olfaction, is one of the most powerful connections to your surroundings. It's actually the only sense directly connected to your brain. Through reactions with the brain, smells can produce significant mental, emotional, and physical responses. Interestingly, scientists have discovered that olfactory receptors, the sensors in your body that create responses to smells, are not just in your nose. They have been found in the kidneys, gastrointestinal tract, muscles, heart, pancreas, liver, lungs, and skin. This means your sense of smell might play a more important role in your physiology and well-being than we thought. Inhaling essential oils is one of the simplest but most powerful ways to enjoy their benefits. So, how does the olfactory system actually work? Well, when a scent enters your nose, it is detected by the olfactory sensors there. These sensors create an electric response, which travels through the olfactory nerves to the olfactory bulb. The bulb receives the neural input and then sends that information to the brain through a bundle of nerve fibers and cells called the olfactory tract. The olfactory system is connected to the limbic system, where emotions and memories are stored. When you use essential oils aromatically, the molecules travel through your nose to the olfactory system, where they're processed and intensified. The intensified odors trigger responses from the limbic system. The limbic system includes parts of your brain you may have heard of before, like the hippocampus and the hypothalamus. What goes on in the limbic system? The system is responsible for controlling your endocrine system, which regulates your hormones, and your nervous system, which transmits signals throughout your body. Equally important, the limbic system helps to control your memory, learning ability, and emotions. But inhaling essential oils affects more than just your olfactory and limbic systems. When you breathe in the aroma of an essential oil, some of the oil's molecules are absorbed in the respiratory tract and lungs, and then circulated through the bloodstream. Remember how essential oils are volatile, meaning they can change quickly from a liquid to a gas? This is what allows them to be so effective when they're inhaled. Because of their small weight and size, they can travel many places in your body. With a better understanding of what's actually happening behind the scenes when you open a bottle and inhale an essential oil, you're ready to try it for yourself. I'd like to show you a few easy ways to use essential oils aromatically every day. Let's start with one of the easiest things you can do. Simply open the bottle and pass it under your nose to inhale the aroma. Just as simple is to put 1 or 2 drops in your hand, rub your palms together, and then inhale deeply like this. Of course, you can always just add several drops to diffuser, click the on button, and enjoy. You reap the benefits for hours. Now, diffusing is one of my favorite ways to use oils aromatically because you can put together all kinds of creative blends of oils to get specific benefits that you are looking for. Another one of my favorite uses is to add a few drops to a diffuser necklace or a bracelet. I've added a little bit of doTERRA Balance to my necklace. Then just breathe in throughout the day as needed. Okay. Once you've experienced the basics of using essential oils aromatically, there are endless possibilities. Add 1 to 3 drops of essential oil to a bowl of hot water. I love to use doTERRA Breathe for feelings of clear airways, but today I'm going to do lavender, frankincense, and wild orange. You can blow on the water to stir up the mixture. Place a towel over your head and the bowl. Now, close your eyes and inhale the steam. This little trick is also fabulous for your skin. These are just a few of the ways you can use essential oils aromatically. Topical application is another simple, fast, and effective way to experience the benefits of essential oils. When used correctly, essential oils can be extremely beneficial for your skin, soothing to your body, and useful for massages and overall bodily support. Something that makes topical application unique is that while it does provide whole body support, it also allows you to target specific areas of your body by applying the oil directly. Did you know your skin is actually your largest organ? It protects and regulates your body while also giving you the sense of touch. Because essential oils are lightweight and lipophilic, dissolvable in fats, they absorb into your skin. While some of the oil remains on the top of your skin, a part of it actually dives deep and enters your bloodstream. Because of this, you can experience benefits from topical use of an essential oil in the applied area and potentially throughout your entire body. Many essential oils are known for their cleansing and purifying properties, which makes them great options to promote clean, healthy-looking skin. Others produce a warming or cooling effect when applied topically. This allows them to soothe tired and sore tissues. Not only that, the aroma of an essential oil can linger on your skin, which lets you experience the aromatic benefits simultaneously. Topical application is super simple. Usually, you just apply the essential oil directly to the area you want to support. While there are many areas to apply essential oils topically, certain areas of the body react especially well to topical application. One example is the bottoms of your feet. Now, I love to massage a couple drops of Serenity with fractionated coconut oil into my feet before bed. If you put some socks on right after, the oil absorbs even better and it helps keep your feet soft and nourished. Another really effective area of your body to apply oils is pulse points. You can do this with almost any oil, but I love to use my roller bottles for easy application. This is in tune. I like to roll a little on my wrists and temples, like so. You can also apply on the inside of your elbow here, behind your knee, or on your neck. Finally, the base of your skull, right here, and temples is also really effective. You can apply a little bit of peppermint touch to these areas to help with occasional head tension. But really, these are just the basics. There are many more ways to enjoy topical application that you can try. For instance, gently massaging digestin into the abdomen clockwise. You could do the same thing with Tamer, which is part of the kids' oil collection. Another good oil for massaging is Clary Calm. During menstruation, it can be really soothing to massage that into the lower abdomen. Here's another idea, and this works great with kids for summertime. Put together a spray bottle with tea tree, lavender, frankincense, and a little bit of fractionated coconut oil and water. Then, after a long day in the sun, just shake it up and spray on the skin. It feels amazing and is super soothing. Peppermint is also great in hot weather because it's cooling. While you're out on a hike in the heat, bring a spray bottle with water and a little peppermint. Just spray a little on the back of your neck, shoulders, and your arms for cooling sensation. Another reason it is so great for hiking is because peppermint will help keep the pests away. One more idea before we move on to internal use. Mix some oil into a cup of Epsom salts and add them to your bath. You'll actually be taking advantage of both the aromatic and topical benefits at the same time. You can try all kinds of combinations. One that is highly relaxing is ylang ylang, cedarwood, and just a drop of frankincense. You can also keep it simple and use a blend that is already ready to go, like doTERRA Balance or Forgive. Also, remember that if you're going to use any citrus oils topically, do it when you know that you won't be going into the sun for at least 12 hours. Just make it a habit to only apply citrus oils topically in the evenings when you won't be going back outside until the following day. As you can see, when it comes to topical use, there are so many great ways to enjoy the pure benefits of essential oils. If you're familiar with essential oils, you've probably heard of dilution. When it comes to using essential oils topically, dilution is one of the most important principles to understand for maximized benefits and safe usage. Dilution is when you take an essential oil and add it to a carrier oil. But what are carrier oils? A carrier oil is an oil that literally carries the essential oil to the desired area on the skin. They dilute the potency of an essential oil, but also increase absorption into the skin, which makes essential oils more effective. Some people worry that diluting an essential oil makes it weaker. However, because it helps your skin absorb the essential oil better, a carrier oil can actually extend the benefits of an essential oil. Research suggests that when you use an essential oil without a carrier oil, only about 4% of it gets absorbed. But if you use a carrier oil, 10% of it is absorbed, which is a big difference. A tip you may want to try is covering the area where you've applied essential oil. This slows down the evaporation rate even more and can increase the absorption rate to about 75%. Basically, when you apply an essential oil with a carrier oil, it won't evaporate as quickly. Normally, carrier oils are things like avocado, olive, sweet almond, apricot, and macadamia oil because they easily dissolve with the essential oil without altering its chemical makeup. While those other types of carrier oils are commonly used, fractionated coconut oil is an ideal carrier oil to use with essential oils because it has a great shelf life, a light and silky feeling, provides good absorption, and is odorless. What is the difference between regular coconut oil and fractionated coconut oil? Fractionated coconut oil is a coconut oil where most or all of the long-chain fatty acids and lauric acid are removed. This is why fractionated coconut oil is able to stay liquid at room temperature, where regular coconut oil is a solid. What's left behind are predominantly saturated medium-chain fatty acids, which have great benefits for your skin. Additionally, fractionated coconut oil is much more shelf-stable than regular coconut oil, which means it can last for years. Overall, if you plan on using essential oils topically, it's a good idea to invest in a carrier oil so you can enjoy the benefits of essential oils to their fullest. So how should you dilute essential oils? As a general rule, you dilute 1 drop of essential oil in 3 drops of carrier oil. You might remember when we talked about how essential oils that are high in phenols can be potentially irritating to the skin due to their potent chemistry. Some of these essential oils, such as cassia, cinnamon, clove, cumin, geranium, lemongrass, oregano, and thyme, should always be diluted before topical use and may require more carrier oil than usual. When diluting, a good practice is to adjust your dilution ratio according to your body size, age, and health. For example, essential oils being used on babies, young children, elderly individuals, or anyone with extra sensitivity could require more dilution. Here's a tip for dilution. If you think you're going to use a specific essential oil a lot, it's really convenient to pre-dilute the essential oil in a roller bottle. If you want to give this a shot, here are some helpful ratios. Generally, start with somewhere between 8 and 20 drops of essential oil per 10 milliliter bottle. Then fill the rest with fractionated coconut oil. The amount of essential oil you use will depend on what the oil is. Hot oils need more dilution and what you'll be using it for. If you're applying an essential oil for the first time, perform a sensitivity test to see how your skin will react. You can do this by applying a small dab of the essential oil mixed in the carrier oil to an inconspicuous area of your skin. Continue to check the area each hour for a few hours to make sure no irritation has occurred. Something you should know is if you have sensitive skin or certain skin conditions like eczema and psoriasis, you may be more sensitive to topical application. You could also be more sensitive if you have a compromised immune system. For example, food or seasonal allergies and autoimmune disorders. If you have any doubts about how you react to a certain essential oil, it's always good to perform the sensitivity test and talk to your healthcare provider. It's also important to know that babies have more sensitive skin than adults. A baby's epidermis, the outer layer of the skin, is up to 5 times thinner than an adult's and is made up of smaller cells. This means baby skin will absorb substances into their bodies more easily and quickly. Essential oils can have many benefits for young children. You'll just want to keep their skin sensitivity in mind. When applying an essential oil topically to baby skin, you'll want to use less essential oil and more carrier oil than you would normally use. Our skin is not only more sensitive when we're young, but it also becomes more sensitive as we age. When we get older, our epidermis thins. Our skin also begins to lose strength and elasticity. Additionally, our blood vessels become more fragile. Glands in the skin produce less oil, and the layer of fat under the skin begins to thin. As a result, essential oils can more easily penetrate the skin. This is another case where we should apply less essential oil and more carrier oil in order to avoid irritating sensitive skin. When it comes to sensitivity, our skin is affected not only by age or health concerns, but it's also more sensitive in different areas of the body. You want to avoid applying essential oils topically to these sensitive areas: the eyes and the skin around the eyes, the inner ears, genitals, and any part of your skin that's injured, broken, or damaged. It's important to remember that essential oils can remain on the fingers and hands following topical applications. This means, for example, if you rub your eyes after massaging deep blue onto your knee, you could accidentally transfer the oil to this sensitive area. Ouch! To avoid this, remember to wash your hands well with soap and water after you apply an essential oil topically. If you do get essential oils in a sensitive location, you should apply a carrier oil to reduce the irritation. If you accidentally get essential oils in your eyes, apply a carrier oil to your eyes and pat dry with a paper towel, though milk can be used in a pinch. You can repeat this until the irritation stops. Remember that because essential oils don't mix with water, trying to wash the oil out with water won't be that effective. If the irritation persists, make sure to get medical attention. Now you know the best practices to enjoy the benefits of applying essential oils topically. Let's move on to the final way to experience essential oils: internal use. A common question you may hear a lot is whether it's safe to ingest essential oils. There's been some confusion on this, so let's clear it up. Decades of traditional thought focused on using essential oils topically and aromatically, while some traditionalists completely abandon ingestion as a suitable method. Scientists and health professionals continue to evaluate and explore the wellness benefits of essential oil ingestion. There's a substantial amount of research in the form of clinical studies that supports the safety and effectiveness of using essential oils orally. The truth is, humans have been ingesting aromatic molecules since the beginning. Remember when we talked about the constituents of essential oils? Well, limonene is a common constituent found in citrus essential oils, but we also ingest this beneficial constituent when we consume citrus fruit or juice, carrots, some baked goods, and a variety of beverages. Another common constituent is eugenol, which is found in clove essential oil as well as in coffee, peaches, and bananas. As you can see, essential oil constituents are regularly a part of our diet, and our bodies are familiar with metabolizing small amounts of these molecules. Before you take essential oils internally, it's important to understand that not all oils are ingestible, just as some plants are not safe to ingest. That is why it is a good idea to check the label on the essential oil bottle to see guidelines for internal use. Here is a list of essential oils that are safe for internal use: basil, bergamot, black pepper, cardamom, cassia, celery seed, cilantro, cinnamon bark, clary sage, clove, copaiba, coriander, fennel, frankincense, geranium, ginger, grapefruit, green mandarin, Hawaiian sandalwood, helichrysum, juniper berry, lavender, lemongrass, lemon, lime, marjoram, melissa, myrrh, oregano, patchouli, peppermint, petitgrain, pink pepper, Roman chamomile, rosemary, sandalwood, Siberian fir, spearmint, tangerine, thyme, turmeric, vetiver, wild orange, and my personal favorite, ylang-ylang. Research has shown that internal use of essential oils offers unique benefits that the other methods do not. For example, essential oils can be used internally to promote healthy cell function, aid gastrointestinal health, maintain healthy immune function, support respiratory system function, provide antioxidant support, assist with healthy cardiovascular system function, calm the nervous system, and aid in the body's normal cleansing activities. Those are some impressive benefits. You may be wondering how to take essential oils internally. Here are some simple ways to incorporate internal use into your essential oil routine. This first way is about as easy and as simple as it gets. Place a drop or two directly under your tongue, like so. I do this every morning with frankincense. The next method I want to show you is taking oils using a veggie capsule. I'll demonstrate with On Guard. Just slip the top off the capsule like this and put in a couple drops. Stick the top back on and simply swallow it with water like you would any other pill. You can also cook with essential oils. It's easy to add a couple drops to your morning smoothie or yogurt, but you can get creative and add oils to other dishes too. For example, using some cinnamon bark essential oil in muffins or black pepper in your meat marinade. You can also use oils like basil, oregano, coriander, cilantro, rosemary, and thyme in place of the dried or fresh versions that you might normally use. I always recommend starting with only a toothpick's amount of the oil because essential oils are so potent. You can always add more if you need to, but the flavor can become overpowering quickly, so don't overdo it. Let me show you what I mean by using a toothpick's amount. Just stick it like this, and then you just swirl it in. Then, if it isn't enough flavor for your tastes, add more using the same method. One last idea, and this is a really soothing way to take an oil internally. Add a couple drops to a mug of warm beverage and honey. You could use milk, almond milk, rice milk, coconut milk, your favorite tea, or even just water. A drop of copaiba and a drop of lemon with a teaspoon of honey in warm milk or water feels great going down the throat on a cold day. As we learned in the previous modules, essential oils are just highly concentrated amounts of the natural compounds that humans have been metabolizing for centuries. While some essential oils should not be taken internally, like wintergreen, there are plenty that can be safely consumed. When an essential oil is ingested, it's transported through the gastrointestinal tract where it's absorbed in the small intestine and moved to the liver via a portal vein. The liver metabolizes and processes the molecules before releasing a portion of them into the bloodstream so they can travel to cells throughout the body. Some of the essential oil is sent to be excreted as well. Like we talked about earlier, essential oils are lipid soluble and have a low molecular weight. This makes it possible for essential oils to be transported to various cells and organs, even the brain. When it comes to using essential oils internally, consider the chemical makeup of the oil, the appropriate amount to take, the oil's potency, your personal health, and any medications you're taking. It's always a good idea to consult your healthcare professional. Our bodies are designed to metabolize and process a limited amount of essential oil in a given time period, which makes the amount you use important. The limit of how much you should take will vary based on the oil. As a general rule, you should start with the smallest amount possible, 1 to 2 drops. Typically, no more than 20 drops of essential oils should be consumed internally within 24 hours. But this maximum can be lower or higher based on age, size, health of the individual, desired benefit, and the oil itself. It's usually safe to take 1 to 5 drops every 4 to 6 hours as needed. If you're going to use an essential oil consistently for more than a couple of weeks, lower amounts, 1 to 3 drops, are suggested. A common method for taking essential oils internally is by putting a drop directly on or under your tongue. An advantage of direct use under the tongue is the essential oil is absorbed directly into circulation via the rich capillaries under the tongue. Before you start using the oils this way, I want to point out that there are some essential oils that are particularly strong or hot, which may be unpleasant to take directly on your tongue. Essential oils like cassia, cinnamon, clove, cumin, oregano, and thyme are safe to use internally, but it's best to take them in a veggie capsule. If you're unsure whether an oil is too strong, a good guideline is to look at the topical dilution recommendation. If it's recommended to dilute the oil before applying to the skin, you'll want to be careful when putting it directly in your mouth. Remember, the safe use of essential oils differs from individual to individual. One essential oil may affect one person and not another, or produce a different effect altogether. Watch for signs of sensitivity, such as gastrointestinal discomfort, skin irritation, or difficulty breathing. These are rarely experienced, but it's good to be aware of them. In the most extreme cases, exceeding suggested amounts can lead to toxicity. Toxicity is when a substance reaches a point that it becomes harmful or damaging to the body. Any substance, even natural, seemingly harmless ones like water, can become toxic if used in excessive amounts. Essential oils have a potential for toxicity when used incorrectly. Just as water, vitamins, and minerals do, the toxic amount of an essential oil always far exceeds the suggested amounts. You would have to consume far beyond the suggested amount to put yourself within the dangerous range of toxicity. As long as you are being smart and safe about internal use, it can open a world of amazing health benefits and fun recipe possibilities. Get creative!
Bueno, queridas amigas y amigos, terminamos hoy la unidad 4. Muy bien, felicidades, felicitaciones, somos unos campeones. Mañana ya completamos el curso, entonces terminamos la unidad 5 y habremos terminado. Y les vamos a contar, porque los que estén interesados, vamos a empezar un curso de Doterra de ventas. Entonces, todos los que quieran mejorar su negocio, pueden unirse a esto. Ya les vamos a pasar la información por ahora. Terminamos hoy y mañana la unidad 5. ¿Listo? Muchas gracias a todos, mucho gusto y que tengan un lindo día. Chao, chao.